Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here finally back with our F1 fantasy review from the British Grand Prix. I know I've been a little bit late with these videos, as I've been saying in pretty much every video over the course of this week. It's very, very warm here in the UK at the moment, so recording in this room is not the most fun thing in the world. Of course, we've been diving into F1 2021 as well, so we've had a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Jamie and I are still trying to work to get a podcast sorted. As he mentioned in one of his videos, he's currently moving house, so trying to get that sorted with no Wi-Fi is, funnily enough, proving to be a bit of an issue as well there. But before, obviously, we dive into this weekend, though, a massive thank you for the continued support on the channel. You know, for those of you that are new around here, F1 Fantasy is a league that we do, of course, using the F1 Fantasy website, obviously on Formula1.com. I'll make sure I leave a link to the league down in the description below. You can see we've currently got 396 members at this stage of the game, and of course, hopefully, we'll try and get over that 400 mark if a few of you guys do join as well. But of course, for the British Grand Prix, we made some big changes, and they didn't pay off. For the first time this year, I put Verstappen in the team instead of Hamilton, and for just the second time this year, Verstappen didn't score. And for the first time this year, Verstappen didn't score and Hamilton did. So I was a bit gutted with that, I'll be honest. I must admit, I did think I'd Mega Drive'd Verstappen for the weekend as well, so pretty happy I didn't do that. Otherwise, it would have been a whole lot worse for us as well come the end of the day there. But yeah, Verstappen was the second worst driver in our roster I could have Mega Drive'd for the weekend. The likes of Norris or Leclerc or even Perez would have been much better to Mega Drivers. So we've got to use our Mega Driver this weekend at the Hungaroring, of course, or next weekend, sorry, even I should say. Obviously, you get 2 Mega Drivers over the course of the year. One from before, Hungary or before, and then one from after Hungary onwards. So obviously, we may as well just use that next weekend. And of course, fingers crossed we put it on a good driver as well, of course, there. But obviously, Verstappen, we all know what happened. A DNF from well, pole position, technically. I'm still not 100% sure how that'll work. But yeah, of course, Verstappen didn't make it to the end of the Grand Prix there. Lando Norris had another brilliant race, finishing in P4 there. Charles Leclerc, how on earth he scored less points than Lando Norris this weekend? I really want to know, because Charles Leclerc deserved to win that Grand Prix as well. I think we can all agree there. He absolutely dragged that Ferrari up. Well, I mean, he led 50 of 52 laps as well. He was an absolute man on a mission over the course of the Grand Prix as well there. Perez, 44 with a turbo, so only 22. What a disappointing weekend it was from Sergio. Very much sort of enabled his inner Pierre Gasly or Alexander Albon at this stage of the year. Span in qualifying, technically, but it was a race. And then, of course, just didn't go anywhere during the Grand Prix. And then pit really late on so they could try and give his teammate bonus points as well. I don't know what was happening there with that. Sorry, no, they were trying to take bonus points off Hamilton even though they were throwing away points in the Constructors, because clearly they're more worried about Hamilton than Mercedes. Take from that whatever you will. And then, of course, Latifi, he's there to round out the budget and put a 5th driver in the team as well. McLaren, though, scored pretty well. 58 points for them. Does leave us in 176th. Currently out of the 396 of you that are in the league. F1 Fantasy's been a little bit slow today, so fingers crossed, there we go, we have loaded in. For those of you that want to join, there is the league code as well. Like we said, we're trying to hit 400 members at the moment. I'm personally trying to stay in the top half of the league as well at this stage of the year. So if you're doing quite well and you want to knock me into the bottom 50%, make sure you join. And perhaps if you're not doing well, get yourself involved anyway. You know, we try and cover some of the teams over the course of the league as well. And, you know, it has been really good fun so far this year. We've got a nice little community that watch these F1 Fantasy videos as well, of course, there. But in terms, though, overall, we'll have a quick rundown of our top 10. It is still Omar Aguz, 95 points clear now, ahead of Damjan at this stage of the year. There, Araman in P3, still ahead of Mingles for Sandbag Racing there. Then we've got, are you new to the league? I can't say I recognise that name before, unless, of course, you've just used a Mega Driver and now really brought yourself towards the top of the series there. But that is Cancron Racing Point as well there. Jake still sat nicely nestled inside the top 10 there. And then we've got Leonardo and Isaac 7th and 8th for Brazil. Damjan again in P9. He's absolutely smashing it so far this year there. And then Bobby L as well. Again, have you just used your Mega Driver this weekend? We'll double check on those two, actually. See if they did use their Mega Driver this weekend. No, they didn't, but he did Turbo Norris. So that's how he managed to score so many points and really ramp himself up the order as well there. Pretty much everyone else in that roster was a big rip, though, unfortunately, for Bobby as well at the end of the day there. And then the other one was check, of course, was Cancro. So he did use his Mega Driver. Oh, he Mega Drivered Verstappen. That's gotta hurt. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. I thought I was there as well with you, but luckily not for me. Last weekend as well there. But Mega Drive with Verstappen, obviously Perez in his team, turboed Norris again though, so that's a fair recovery for wasting your Mega Driver there. And then of course Ricciardo, Schumacher and Red Bull there as well, so a pretty decent team. I can see you being right there towards the end of the year. Having a look though at just the British Grand Prix weekend though, Laura smashed it, 115 points clear of anyone else at the end of the weekend. Believed in Lewis Hamilton, 195 points for Hamilton, 106 for Lando Norris, 301 points between two drivers. You basically scored as many as anyone else just using two drivers, so fair play there for managing that one. Alonso as well had some big points this weekend. Ferrari as well had some big points this weekend. That has got to be close to a perfect score, I reckon, from this weekend. Can we have a quick look, actually, find out what was the highest score over the course of last weekend? It must be not much more than that, surely. 459 by Matteo G there. He was the only person with this roster. Megan Hamilton, turboed Lando as we expected. Stroll, Russell, Leclerc and Ferrari. That is a mega team, fair play. And used his wildcard as well there. So 459 points, hats off to you. You can see quite a lot of guys scoring 445. I'm guessing they all had the same roster there. Yeah, Mega Hamilton, Turbo, Norris, Leclerc, Russell and Ferrari as well there. But let's head back over to our league though. Of course, not too interested in how everyone else in the world's doing. Focusing on you guys as well, of course, here. In terms of everyone else in the top 10, though, Jiri H in second, 115 points back. That just seems ridiculous to say. Again, Hamilton, probably wish you turboed him. Leclerc, Norris, those are three big hitters you managed to squeeze into your roster there. It's a shame about Ocon and Giovinazzi and the fact you've only got Ferrari as your team as well. But Ferrari so far, I'm really tempted to put them in next weekend because they seem to work out well around the warmer track. So I think they might be a good shout over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we've got Hungary, then we've got Belgium, Zandvoort, and of course Monza as well. They probably won't be too great around around Belgium or Monza. But Zandvoort again might be a good shout for them. Theo in P3 there with Turbo Leclerc. Again, not perfect. You're better off Turbo in Norris somehow. But still Turbo in Leclerc was a pretty good shout this weekend. And then we've got Michelage in P4. Again, Turbo Norris, Hamilton there, Schumacher, Leclerc, Gio and Ferrari once again. That's a fan of your Ferrari-powered drivers and cars. Then we got, again, Hamilton, Leclerc, Ferrari, Norris, this time around Gasly and Russell. I feel like a lot of the top teams have normally got the same core, and then just like a couple of guys that are a little bit different as well. You can see once again, exactly the same. Felipe, again, exactly the same. Well, McLaren actually not Ferrari in that one, so that's a bit interesting. Then we've actually got Enzo S, who used his Mega Driver and his wildcard this weekend there. Oh, he turboed Verstappen. You hate to see it, unfortunately, Enzo there. I do feel sorry for you, mate. Like I said, I thought I was in your position, but apparently not there. Sainz, Leclerc again. Leclerc was a really, really good hitter. Turbo Norris as well, of course, and Ferrari as well as Gasly. Marcel as well with Team Spinala. Exactly the same, near enough exactly the same there. Again, Mega Drive with Verstappen instead of Hamilton. And then we got a Mog as well with his two teams. I think they're identical teams, if I remember correctly. No, he's got Kimi in one, and no, he's got Kimi in both as well. So that is identical teams from a Mog there. So obviously scoring the same amount of points week in, week out. So there is our top 11 technically from last week as well there. Let's see where we rank this week. Not well is going to be my guess, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to guess outside the top 200. Was that me? Yeah, there we go, 170th. That wasn't as bad as I thought we would be, in all honesty there. Again, obviously, we didn't have, apart from Latifi and Verstappen, the other guys all scored pretty consistently there to get us up over the 200 point mark. But definitely changes are going to be needed ready for this weekend as well there. And speaking of, let's head back to the team then, of course, as we head to the Hungarian Grand Prix. The real question remains, Hamilton, the king of the Hungaroring, can he do it this weekend? Or are we going to see Red Bull? I mean, Verstappen's going to want this, isn't he? Surely we're mad not to Mega Max Verstappen heading into this weekend there. We have to. We just have to there. I'm going to remove my turbo as well. I'm going to put that on Lando Norris again there because I just don't think Perez is doing what we need him to at the moment as well. Like I said, we've only got 100 grand left in the budget as well there. But I think I'm going to keep the rest of the roster ready for the summer break. Obviously, we'll wait and see what happens with that. So far, our team's worth 1.2 million over budget as well. So rather happy with that one at this stage of the year as well. We've made some good choices so far in the league so far this year. So we are going to click save on that one as well, of course. But let me know down in the comments below how well you guys got on over the course of the British Grand Prix weekend, of course. Let me know as well your thoughts and feelings around sprint races and everything like that. As well, obviously, whether you've made any changes to the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend, of course, last race before the summer break, so make sure you use your Mega Driver. Do not forget to use your Mega Driver, otherwise I will probably laugh at you at the end of the day as well there. But thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, do make sure you get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, ready for the Hungarian GP review. None of these videos could be possible without the support of our channel members, so a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan and David Bennett for becoming channel members. You can join them and be featured in these end clips by clicking the join button down below.